Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So there's quite lots to talk about on this video today guys, but potentially the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in relation to Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld, of course. Well, so there has been a lot of media reports coming out saying that reportedly Manchester United are set to trigger Toby Alderweireld's 25 million release clause this summer, because potentially Manchester United are looking to address their defensive deficiencies, of course, as well. And Solskjaer has confirmed he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to Manchester United this summer. He's identified, the key areas where he thinks Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up, and potentially he's expected to orchestrate a big summer clear-out, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I was talking about to you a couple of days ago, and I've updated you on a regular basis about that, Manchester United we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, of course. Maybe not spend too much money on one player, of course, as we have done in the past. We paid 75 million for Lukaku, we paid 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba as well, and we're all aware that there's quite a few players that are available for a reasonable figure. And of course, Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld, of course, is one of them. And Toby Alderweireld reportedly he's got a 25 million release clause. Tottenham activated a 12-month extension back in January, of course, and they included a 25 million release clause. But I think from Toby Alderweireld's perspective, he is keen on making the move to Manchester United after he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham, of course, as well. But Manchester United were linked with Toby Alderweireld last summer, of course, but obviously we couldn't come to an agreement to get him last summer. Obviously last summer, we recommended 3 players to come in, but we didn't get as main priority targets last summer, because obviously our priority last summer was to recommend a central defender to come in, which we didn't get, to be quite honest with you as well. So we do know that Toby Alderweireld this summer is going to be available for a reasonable figure. Manchester United have not yet made any kind of contact with Tottenham. We'll probably do it in the process this summer, of course, as well. But Toby Alderweireld, I do have reservations about Toby Alderweireld, considering that he's just recently turned 30 years of age. Of course, he has lost that yard of pace a little bit, but I think he'd still be a great lead in our back line. If he come in, I think he'd blend very, very well in our back line, alongside Victor Lindelof with Alderweireld. And obviously, Tottenham in their back line, don't forget, I've got other options as well. They've got Davinson Sanchez and they've got Jan Vertonghen, that could combine, of course, as well. So potentially, this could be one of our first signings this summer, could Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld, of course. And I think he's made over 100 odd appearances, from Mauricio Pochettino's side as Alderweireld. He's been at Tottenham a number of years, of course, as well, and he's well Premier League proven, of course, as well. And obviously, he's an ex-Ajax player. He's also an ex-Atletico Madrid player, of course. I think he was on a loan with Southampton at one point as well. But potentially, he's available for a reasonable figure this summer of just £25 million, of course, as well. So I think potentially Manchester United are the favourites to go on landing, because potentially we do need a centre-back. We need a world-class centre-back, and we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. And mainly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been going with Chris Smalling and Victor Lindelof as a centre-back partnership, of course. And obviously, if a new centre-back is to come in this summer, obviously Eric Bailly's future is going to be in doubt, of course, because obviously Eric Bailly's been in and out of the team this season for Manchester United, as we all know. But I still highly rate him. He's got great potential, of course. This is his 3rd season at United. He's made 49 appearances in the Premier League for Manchester United and only scored 1 goal. But he has been in and out of the team this season. He's currently injured at the moment, I think, with a concussion as well. But potentially we know that Smalling and Jones have been preferred choice of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's above Eric Bailly. And we paid £30 million for him 3 years ago, of course, from Villarreal, and it actually was one of Jose Mourinho's first signs. So he could be on his way out this summer, Eric Bailly, if a new centre-back is to come in. And we do know there's better options than Toby Alderweireld, of course, and we know that Toby Alderweireld is nowhere near on the same levels of the likes of the Rafael Varanes or the Koulibalis, the Sergio Ramoses or the Diego Gordons. But obviously them type of players, they are quality players, but they're going to cost us a lot more money, of course. And Toby Alderweireld is available for a reasonable figure, and I think Toby Alderweireld has got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next couple of years, of course, as well. Considering that he's aging up, though, that's the thing I've got reservations about, and considering that he's also lost that yard of pace, of course, well. So I think Solskjaer's keen on recommending him to come to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. But as we do know, we're going to get around over £200 million to spend this summer, of course. Obviously, we do know that Manchester United are looking to hire a director of football to come in as well, to change the club structure and all that. But the one good thing is it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is emphasising his targets, and obviously now he's got the job permanently. Obviously, his expectation levels, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's in this 3 years, in this 3-year deal he's got, well, obviously, to get Manchester United back to the powerhouse as he was under Fergie, and get us back up there, competing and challenging for trophies and winning trophies, of course, as well. But essentially, Solskjaer wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's history, because potentially, you can see the deficiencies in the squad. But obviously, Solskjaer's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because we didn't spend out in January, we didn't spend much last summer, of course, as well. But I think quite a lot of players are going to leave this summer. At least probably 6 players are going to depart Manchester United, of course, this summer as well. So maybe this summer, Manchester United, should spend the money wisely, of course, as well. There's still some contract renewals to sort out as well. But potentially, as we all do currently know, Raphael Varane has also been a Manchester United target, as we all know as well. But if he does become for sale, he's going to cost Manchester United around £100 million, is Raphael Varane. Man United have reportedly been in talks to get Raphael Varane for around £100 million. Obviously, he's got a huge release clause in his current deal of £429 million. This is 8th season now at Real Madrid. Raphael Varane, reports coming out from Spain the other week saying that he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer. Is Raphael Varane, he reads the game very, very well. His stability is good. He shows that ability that he can play out from the back and all that as well. And look very, very good alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line with Raphael Varane. It's remarkable what he's achieved. He's only 25 years of age. So he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he's won about 15, 16 major honours, something like that. He was very, very good in the World Cup with France last summer, of course, well. But I don't think Real Madrid are willing to do any business for Raphael Varane. And I think Toby Alderweireld, to be quite honest, is a much cheaper alternative than Raphael Varane, of course, as well. But another potential player, Manchester United, could get for a reasonable figure as well, is Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka. We do know that he's a right back, Wan-Bissaka. Again, he's only 21 years of age, and it's also good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's also good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is showing an interest in quite a few young players, which is very, very good indeed. And Wan-Bissaka, is one of England's youngest upcoming talents, as we all know as well. And reports were coming out the other week saying that Manchester United were preparing a bid of £35 million for Wan-Bissaka. I think he's valued at around £40 million as Wan-Bissaka, but obviously last year, Wan-Bissaka, broke into the senior team with Crystal Palace, of course, as well. I think he's got the defensive capabilities, and I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, well, because he's only 21 years of age, as we all know, and we need someone young and ambitious on that right-hand side, because potentially, for me, he'd be a perfect successor to Valencia. He'd be a great upgrade to Ashley Young, of course, as well. So, potentially, Manchester United have been linked with Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka, and he's available for a reasonable figure. And, there's also been a lot of talks going on about West Ham's Declan Rice, as well, because we need some new additions in that midfield, of course, as well, because, obviously, I think we needed centre defensive mid that's fast and tenacious, of course, and Declan Rice is mainly a holding midfielder. He can also operate as a centre-back as well, but I think he's mainly a defensive midfielder. I think, based on his fantastic performances this season for West Ham, he's attracted interest from my club, Manchester United, Declan Rice, and he's available for a reasonable figure. I think it did say Man United were prepared to spend up to £50 million for Declan Rice. This is what potentially, West Ham will probably demand that they want in the act. This is what West Ham, will demand, that they want for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is only 20 years of age, of course. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents, of course, well. So do you think he'd blend well in our midfield, if he was to come in, Declan Rice? Because obviously it's looking like Herrera's on his way out. Pogba's future's up in the air, of course, as well. So we do need a couple of additions in that midfield. And Declan Rice has got a contract with West Ham till 2024, of course, as well. But I think he's made about 56 appearances for West Ham, of course. He broke into the senior team a couple of years ago. Declan Rice actually began his youth career with Chelsea, of course, at the age of 7. He's up the ranks with Chelsea. Got axed off at 14, and then he joined West Ham's youth academy, of course, well. So I think he's been in the senior squad, quite a few years now as Declan Rice, but he's mainly a defensive midfielder. But he reportedly had a good season this season with West Ham. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well under Manuel Pellegrini, of course, as well. So potentially Manchester United have been interesting because we've centre defensive midfield. We've got Matic, and I've got strong reservations about Matic. He's aging up. He's aging up. I've got strong reservations about him. As I said, he's aging up. Of course, he's slow as well. And so we need a centre defensive midfielder. That's fast and quick, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talks, going on about Declan Rice, and potentially also too the club's number one priority target is obviously Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho. But again, if he does become for sale in the summer, he's going to cost Manchester United at least a 9-figure sum of around £100 million. Is Jadon Sancho, of course, and he's one of England's youngest upcoming prospects. He's just not too long ago, turned 19 years of age. I think it's confirmed that he is still the club's number one priority target. Manchester United have been heavily linked with Jadon Sancho, but we need someone on that right hand side, that can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box, and Jadon Sancho, can do this, as we all know, as well, because he's fantastic. He's proven himself fantastically well in Germany, with Borussia Dortmund. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well. He's still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, as we all know as well. And Borussia Dortmund paid £8 million, €7 million, or was it £8 million for Manchester City a couple of years ago as well. So he has had experience of playing in the Premier League, of course, as well as Jadon Sancho, but he never got into the first team with City. He never, he never got guaranteed to play regularly in the first team. This is the main reason he left City and went to Borussia Dortmund, of course, as well. If we did come to an agreement to get him in the summer, probably that this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever as well. But I think he'd link up in our attacking line very, very well alongside the likes of Rashford and Anthony Martial, of course, as well. So essentially, he's still the club's #1 prize target. As I did update you yesterday as well, a lot of reports are coming out about Haravan Lozano as well, and he's another player that Manchester United have been long admirers of. Manchester United have reportedly, been scouting him, for a number of years now. Haravan Lozano again, I think he'd complement our attacking line very, very well, and I think he'd blend in very, very well alongside Martial and Rashford in our attacking line indeed, with Haravan Lozano. He's 23 years of age, is Haravan Lozano. Obviously, with his performances in the World Cup for Mexico last summer were very, very good indeed. He can operate as a winner. He can also operate as a forward as well. And again, he's available for a reasonable figure, is Haravan Lozano, because reportedly his release clause is around £34 million. Reportedly he's Haravan Lozano's, and reportedly he's had a good season with PSV this season, of course, as well as Haravan Lozano. But reports have been coming out in the last couple of days saying that he's obviously, had negotiations with Xavi Hernandez, and he's asked Xavi Hernandez what life was like at Old Trafford, because obviously, Xavi Hernandez served about 5 years at Manchester United under Alex Ferguson. Most of it under Alex Ferguson, of course, as well. I think about 3 years of it under Alex Ferguson. But either way, he spent 5 years at Manchester United, did Xavi Hernandez. And reportedly now, he's spoken to Haravan Lozano, and Xavi Hernandez has actually urged Haravan Lozano, to make the move to Manchester United this summer, reportedly as well. It has confirmed Man United have been scouting for a number of years, reportedly. It has confirmed that there has been talks between Manchester United and his agent, Raiola, of course, as well. But Haravan Lozano, reportedly, I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well. But I think from his own perspective, Haravan Lozano, he is keen on making the move to Old Trafford as well. So potentially he is a Manchester United target, as we all know, as well. But as I did currently say, there's been quite a few targets. We do know that Manchester United have been interested in as well. But I think, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is, to be quite honest, I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen, to be quite honest. Solskjaer is keen on, sanctioning quite a few players off this summer, of course, as well. And potentially, I think Solskjaer's keen on keeping De Gea. He's also keen on keeping Pogba as well. But I think, the players that are going to leave Manchester United this summer, of course, going to be Antonio Valencia, as we all know. He's definitely on his way out this summer. He's been here 10 years now as Antonio Valencia. So I think Valencia, he's definitely on his way out this summer. Obviously, we opted against that decision to give him that new 1-year extension. So I think Valencia's on his way out. I think probably Rojo's on his way out as well, because his career has been affected with the amount of injuries he's suffered as a Manchester United player. So I do think Rojo's on his way out with the club as well. Bailly's probably on his way out if a new centre-back is to come in this summer. I think Darmian also is on his way out of the club as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. Not too sure about Fred, to be quite honest with you, because Fred, I don't know if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. He's obviously got strong reservations about his game time, but when he has had the opportunity, I think he's been very inconsistent indeed, and we got him last summer for around £50 million. So for me, I don't know, to be quite honest with you, Fred is a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. And as said, we need some new additions in that midfield, because obviously I've analysed, the midfielders' performances under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and mainly they have been very, very good, but we need some new additions in that midfield, and I think the likes of Pereira, McTominay and Fred and all, I don't think they've got the capabilities to, graduate Manchester United to that level, of course. Well, as I said, it's looking like Herrera's on his way out, Pogba's future's up in the air, and we need a centre defensive midfielder that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well. As I did say, I think definitely Sanchez is on his way out of the club in the summer as well. Sanchez endured a very, very difficult time. He's been very inconsistent. When he has played, he just looks so restricted and all that as Alexis Sanchez. It just looks as though he hasn't been getting that freedom. Of course, he's age 30 now. Obviously, he's not playing to the highest level anymore. He's lost that yard of pace, but he just hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system. Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. Considering his substantial wages he's on, obviously it's going to be hard to find a buyer for Sanchez this summer, so we may consider loaning him out, or is Sanchez willing to take some kind of wage cut or not? I do not know, of course, as well. He's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. He's been here about 15, 16 months now, of course, as well. So, essentially, as I did say, what currently Sanchez is receiving, it's totally affecting our wage structure, in a bad way, of course, because now we've got quite a few other players, demanding quite a bit more money, of course, as well. I think Lukaku as well, his future is up in the air as well. I think a lot of Man United fans are demanding that he should be moved on in the summer, of course, as well. Should Romelu Lukaku, because I think he's really, really good. Lukaku, I think, is I think his goal scoring form is very, very good, but his touches really concern me. His first touch is woeful. I've got reservations about him. For me, his finishing lets him down. He doesn't really, get enough of them runs in behind. To be quite honest with you as well. Does Romelu Lukaku, his work ethic is not really, really good, to be quite honest. And to be quite fair, before the international break, he regained his position in the team and he regained his form and he was scoring goals and all at Lukaku, and he does perform well, Lukaku. When he is getting that support up front, of course, as well. But for me, I think he could be moved on in his summer. And we'll try and initially recruit the initial £75 million we paid for him from Everton a couple of years ago as well. So he could be potentially moved on. I think Juan Mata could be on his way out in the summer as well. He's another player that I think could be on his way out of Manchester United as well. But yeah, I think Solskjaer is expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out, of course, as well. And obviously, I think Solskjaer did say Solskjaer's ready to get rid of about 6 players, but also De Gea and Pogba, could be included as well, because in relation to Paul Pogba, of course, as well, recent reports have indicated out that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, confirmed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is adamant, that Paul Pogba will not leave Manchester United, and Solskjaer's insisted that Pogba will not leave Manchester United. And what recently Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said Paul Pogba's happy, and probably Solskjaer still feels as though that Paul Pogba's got a big future at Manchester United, of course, well, even though there's been a lot of rumours linking him, with a move to Real Madrid this summer. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane's a big admirer of Paul Pogba, of course, as well. Obviously, a couple of weeks back, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid, of course, as well. So maybe Paul Pogba is intending on making the move to Madrid this summer, because reports before did say, reports come out from Spain saying he's made a decision on his Manchester United future, and reportedly he's considering, leaving Manchester United this summer and joining Real Madrid, of course, as well. But recent reports have suggested out that Man United are set to begin contract negotiations with Pogba to try and time down to a new contract, of course, as well. But reportedly he's demanding an astronomical salary of around £500,000 a week if he is to remain loyal to Manchester United, and if he is to sign a new contract at Manchester United, Paul Pogba, as well. And potentially at the moment he's on £300,000 a week, is Paul Pogba, and potentially he's demanding £200,000 pay rise if he is to sign a new contract with Man United. I think Manchester United, I think he wants to be the highest paid player alongside Sanchez, but I think Manchester United are willing to offer him a new 3-year deal, of course, as well. At the moment he's still in the contract here till 2021, is Pogba, so over 2 years left in his deal. There is an option of a further year as well, but his agent Raiola, of course, has had a lot to say. He's been in the process of trying to find Pogba a new club. He's had a couple of negotiations with Real Madrid. He's been to Manchester to negotiate a summer move for Paul Pogba, of course, well. But Pogba's 26 and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's been one of our most influential players since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took the reins at Manchester United. Of course, he has been one of our most influential players, as Paul Pogba. But as I did currently say, in the last couple of games, his performances haven't been to scratch, and they have been way below par. To be quite honest. So he's one of the players that I've got to really step up to the plate. Of course, Paul Pogba, of course, as well. There's also been rumours that he could be, possibly, make a return back to Italy. Juventus, where he did have 4 good years. Manchester United paid £89 million for him in 2016. So now this is Paul Pogba's. He's heading into his 4th season now as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. But he's attracted interest from Real Madrid, and reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put a bidding of around £125 million for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. So his future's up in the air at the moment, but we've obviously, got De Gea as well. De Gea's refused, he hasn't yet signed a new contract for Manchester United, of course, and he's been a great servant for Manchester United, of course, as David De Gea, of course, as well. And potentially, reportedly, if Man United are to get him a new contract, he's demanding wages of around £350,000 a week, is De Gea. So he potentially, wants to be the highest paid player at the club alongside Alexis Sanchez, of course, well. But reportedly, Manchester United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea. It's also said that PSG have showed an interest as well, and reports coming out the other week saying that PSG are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, reportedly, as well. Potentially, Manchester United have been in negotiations of getting David De Gea a new contract. Obviously, we still know he's under contract. He's still under contract with Manchester United till 2020, because last year we activated a 12-month extension, as we all know, as well. But this is his 8th season now at Manchester United. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions with David De Gea. He's got 100 Premier League clean sheets. He's won everything here domestically. He's won the Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons, of course, well. But I think he's keen on remaining loyal to Manchester United, and he wants to commit his long-term future at United. But I just think he wants £350,000 a week. Currently, at the moment, he's on £200,000 a week, is De Gea. And obviously, if we are forced to sell De Gea this summer, we have emphasised a couple of targets, who could possibly replace him. Jordan Pickford's been mentioned of Everton, or Blanc of Atletico Madrid has also been mentioned as well. So, as I did say, you know, there could be quite a few players leaving. There's big breaking news, you know, that's also coming out about Marcus Rashford, as you all know, as well. And reportedly, there's some positive news coming out about Marcus Rashford. Reportedly, Rashford is in line. I think Rashford is on the verge of signing a new 5-year deal at Manchester United, reportedly. So, he's in line for a new deal, is Marcus Rashford, worth around £78 million, reportedly, because reportedly, Rashford is demanding that he wants around £300,000 a week, reportedly. This is what currently Wayne Rooney was on £300,000 a week, you know, when he was at Manchester United. Obviously served 12 years as a Manchester United player, you know, did Wayne Rooney, of course, obviously the all-time leading goal scorer, of course, with 253 goals. So obviously Rashford's demanding a salary of what currently, you know, Wayne Rooney was currently on. So Rashford, I think reportedly is going to get around £300,000 a week in his new 5-year deal he's going to be signing. So I think he's on the brink of signing this new 5-year deal. I think it's worth about £78 million in total, and his weekly wage is around £300,000 a week, is Marcus Rashford. So he's set to have a huge increase in his wage. I think his wages are set to increase by nearly 4 times our Marcus Rashford's, because at the moment in his current deal he's only on about £80,000 a week. He still remains under contract till 2020, does Marcus Rashford. There is an option of a further year as well. But yeah, he's on the verge of signing a new 5-year deal, is Marcus Rashford, worth around £300,000 a week, of course, as well. But yeah, he's been very good player for Manchester United, of course. I hope that he's available for tonight, you know, for the Barcelona game. But he has attracted interest from the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid, as Marcus Rashford, of course, as well. But you know, he's been a United player since the age of 7. You know, he's grown, developed fantastically well, progressing up the ranks, and he broke into the senior squad. He's been in the senior squad since 2016, of course. And we know mainly he has been first choice ahead of Romelu Lukaku, as Marcus Rashford, of course. But Rashford has been in advanced talks with Manchester United, of course, over a new 5-year deal, of course, well. So this will take him under contract till 2024. It's a new 5-year deal worth £78 million. And his wage is £300,000 per week, and I think the deal all in all is worth about £78 million, of course, as well. So essentially his wages are going to increase by nearly 4 times, of course, as well. So that's a big breaking news to update you on, as well. But as we do know, it's going to be a big game, you know, tonight against Barcelona. I'm really looking forward to it, you know, to be quite honest with you, as well. Obviously, as he updated you yesterday, you know, I watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, you know, leading up to the game as well. And, you know, we have got some injury crisis, you know, there's quite a few players out. Solskjaer did confirm that Eric Bailly is not going to be available. Valenti is not going to be available. He did say he hopes that Matic can be ready, but Matic has sustained an injury as well. He also said that Herrera is going to probably be out as well. Obviously, Herrera sustained some kind of a knock injury. But we are hopeful that Rashford can be playing tonight against Barcelona. Reports, well, he missed the Wolves game, obviously, you know, because he sustained an ankle injury, you know, Marcus Rashford. But it's good that he was training yesterday, of course, as well. So hopefully Rashford can be involved against Barcelona tonight as well. And obviously Sanchez returned to training as well yesterday, but Sanchez still remains out, and obviously he's missed Manchester United's last 5 games. So Sanchez isn't going to be playing because, as we all do know, you know, Sanchez has obviously, you know, sustained a knee injury, as we all know, as well. So potentially, yeah, so I hope Rashford, you know, can make it tonight, of course, as well. He's recently sustained an ankle injury. He's been back to training, so hopefully he can be involved tonight. Can Marcus Rashford, of course, as well. Pogba's going to be available, obviously, you know, because he missed, you know, the PSG game in the second leg, because obviously he had a 1-match ban. But he's definitely players tonight, you know, that have got to step up to the plate, as I said. And, you know, if we do get them chances, you know, we've got to be clinical, and we've got to take them chances. I think Man United will be happy, you know, for Barcelona, you know, to maintain a lot of the possession, you know, which I do think they're going to do. Obviously, it's going to be a huge task, you know, with the likes of Smalling and Lindelof and that, you know, coming up against the likes of Lionel Messi and, you know, Luis Suarez, of course, as well. And, you know, we know how much of a difficult game it's going to be. You know, we're coming up against a great elite opposition with great players. You know, they've got an ecstatic stadium. They're a well-established club. You know, they've got loads of money. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. You know, they've got arguably the best player in the world, you know, through Lionel Messi, of course. So we're somewhere along the line, we've got to figure Messi out, not allowing to hold on to the ball, you know, too much, of course, as well, because, you know, when he's got the ball, you know, he can do something. He can either create or he can score himself. So he is the key danger man, you know, for Manchester United, of course, as well. And potentially, as we all know, the winners of us and Barcelona do play the winners of Liverpool Porto. Liverpool have now got a 2-goal advantage, so it's looking like Liverpool are going to get to the semi-final, of course, as well. As they did update yesterday, Tottenham beat Man City 1-0. But obviously Tottenham have got to go to the Etihad in the second leg, which is going to be very, very difficult for Tottenham indeed. And that's a night Tottenham aren't going to forget. The first European game, of course, at the new stadium. And, Tottenham won by 1-0, of course, as well. They may have concerns with the Harry Kane injury because obviously, Harry Kane had to come off in the game as well. So from Tottenham's perspective, they'll have to hope that injury is not too severe, of course, as well. But this is going to be an entertaining game, between Manchester United and Barcelona, as we all know. And especially when we go to the new camp, it's going to bring back a lot of memories for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, because 20 years ago, back in 1999, one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moments, obviously, one of his most iconic moments, when he scored the winner in the Champions League final at the new camp against Bayern Munich, of course, well, so it's going to bring back a lot of memories for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think for Manchester United to have any chance of progressing to the semis, we've got to probably take at least a 2-goal advantage to Barcelona's ground, if we have got any chance. We're not going to keep a clean sheet over the two legs against Barcelona, because obviously, we're not good enough, of course, as well. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this indeed. And it's not the Barcelona, that beat us in 2009 Champions League final 2-0 or the 2011 Champions League final 3-1. It's not the same Barcelona, of course, but we still know they're a strong outfit. Obviously they're going to be winning La Liga again. This is going to be their fourth La Liga in 5 seasons, of course, as well. Potentially, I don't know if Ousmane Dembele is going to be playing tonight. He did say he sustained some kind of hamstring injury, Ousmane Dembele, but he may be available tonight. I'm not too sure, but he's only very, very young, Ousmane Dembele. I haven't really watched him play for Barcelona. I watched him a couple of times when he was at Dortmund, but since he's been at Barcelona, he's sustained quite a few injuries, Ousmane Dembele. He had one last season as well for Barcelona, Ousmane Dembele. Of course, he's very, very young, but if Ousmane Dembele does participate, it'll be interesting to see Luke Shaw coming up against Ousmane Dembele, of course, as well. But Ousmane Dembele sustained quite a few injuries as a Barcelona player. I think Barcelona paid £106 million for him a couple of years ago, was it, from Borussia Dortmund, if I'm right, yeah. And, it's going to be interesting to see, the likes of Pogba coming up against the likes of Ivan Rakitic. And as I did say, I compared Pogba and Ivan Rakitic. And don't get me wrong, Ivan Rakitic is a really, really good player for Barcelona. He is a really, really good player, but he's aging up now. He's just recently turned 31, hasn't he, Ivan Rakitic? And of course, he's got a good pedigree. Obviously, the majority of his silverware he's won, Ivan Rakitic, has obviously, become at Barcelona, of course, well, because he's been at Barcelona a number of years now, as Ivan Rakitic, of course, as well. And obviously, there has been speculation of him leaving Barcelona possibly this summer, because obviously Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer. Obviously, they agreed the fee with Ajax last summer for 65 million, did Barcelona, but it's a year in advance, so Frankie de Jong is going to be coming in this summer, of course, as well. And reports are saying that Ivan Rakitic could be surplus to requirements, and he could find game time hard, could Ivan Rakitic, when Frankie de Jong comes in, because Barcelona, of course, have got quite a few midfielders, so essentially there has been rumours of Ivan Rakitic leaving. But for me, I think, comparing Pogba and Ivan Rakitic, and I think when Pogba's on his game, when he's playing well, when he's playing in the right vein, I think Pogba's definitely one of the best midfielders in world football. I think he's definitely better than Ivan Rakitic, of course. And Pogba's a lot younger than Ivan Rakitic. Pogba's 26, isn't he? Ivan Rakitic is 31, of course, as well. But yeah, Pogba, when he's on his game, he's one of the best midfielders in world football. And I've analysed his performances under Solskjaer, and mainly in this 3-month period or so, or just a bit longer, his performances have been absolutely sublime indeed. But obviously, I know his performances have been way below par in the last couple of games or so. So he's definitely got to step up to the plate tonight, as Paul Pogba, of course, as well. And these are a lot of players that have got to step up to the plate tonight, of course. And I don't think Manchester United are going to win the Champions League. I hate to be negative, but I don't really see us winning the Champions League. Obviously, if we don't win the Champions League, we've got to obviously focus on getting that top 4 in the league. And we've been in a bad vein of form recently. We've lost 3 of his last 4 games, of course. So essentially, I think for us to keep our top 4 ambitions alive in the league, I think we've got to win at least 5 of our remaining 6 games if we have got any chance, of course, as well. But yeah, this is going to be a mouth-watering clash tonight, between Manchester United and Barcelona, of course, as well. So if we can take a 2-goal advantage to the Nou Camp, we've got a huge, huge chance, indeed, without a shadow of a doubt. Barcelona can be definitely beaten. They can be beaten, definitely. They definitely can be beaten, can Barcelona, of course. We proved it 11 years ago when we beat them 1-0, when Paul Scholes scored, of course, as well. But as I said, we know that investment is needed into Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. Investment is needed. I think over £200 million is enough to get the players that we currently want. But I think we've got to be sensible with our recruitment this summer. And as I said at the beginning of the video, Man United now reportedly we're turning our intentions on Toby Alderweireld. It could be one of our first signings that comes in this summer, could Toby Alderweireld under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's available for £25 million. So we're looking to trigger that £25 million release clause, Tottenham included, when they activated the 12-month extension back in in January, of course, as well. And for me, I think he'd address our defensive deficiencies. We know there's much better than Toby Alderweireld, but for me, I think he'll do, and I think he'll look very, very good alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. And he's £25 million is an absolute bargain for Toby Alderweireld, of course, because I think he's done very, very well in the Premier League. He's well Premier League proven. He knows everything about the Premier League, of course, and he's made over 100 odd appearances for Tottenham, of course. Well, sometimes his performances are below par, but sometimes he can prove to be a world-class central defender, can Alderweireld. And I think Alderweireld is interested in coming to Manchester United this summer, but Tottenham have still got other options at the back if he goes. They've got, as I said, they've got Sanchez and what's his name, Jan Vertonghen, that can combine, of course, as well. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing to the channel, as always, guys, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.